Hello everybody and welcome to the lecture on semantic nets. A lecture in the course of Introduction to Artificial Intelligence for Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering students of the 8th semester. One way to represent knowledge is using logic. For example, the predicate logic statements. It represents knowledge. Hierarchical inheritance is another way of representing knowledge. In AI, it is called property inheritance. Semantic nets are based on property inheritance. And today, we will learn how to represent English statements using semantic nets. If you are not familiar with inheritance, I request you to please watch the lecture on inheritance before going ahead with this one. To represent knowledge with the help of property inheritance, we take the help of structures called slot and filler structures. Slot and filler structures are the devices to support property inheritance using and instance links. What are slot and filler structures? What is a slot? What is a filler? Let us understand it with the help of an example. What you are seeing here is a simple slot and filler structure. It consists of lines or arrows, also called arcs, and boxes, also called nodes. So, in a slot and filler structure, we have arcs and nodes. The nodes represent either classes or objects or values of attributes of an object, and arcs represent relationships among the nodes. The arrows on the lines point from an object to its value along the corresponding attribute line. A slot is an attribute value pair, and a filler is the actual value that the slot can take. That's why this structure is known as a slot and filler structure. So our example here uses property inheritance. Mammal is a base class. Person is a class derived from the mammal class. So, person is a mammal. The person class has an attribute called has part, and this attribute has a value knows, which means all instances of person class will have an attribute has part with the value knows. Jack is such an instance of person class. That means Jack is an object. Jack has attributes team with the value Chicago Royals and attribute uniform with the value blue. I hope that it is clear from this example what a slot and filler structure is. Why do we use it? Slot and filler structures are used because, firstly, they support inheritance. Secondly, they support monotonic as well as non-monotonic reasoning effectively. Thirdly, they make it easy to describe properties of relations. And lastly, since they follow an object-oriented approach, there is modularity. Slot and filler structures are of two types: weak slot and filler structures and strong slot and filler structures. In weak slot and filler structures, very little importance is given to the specific knowledge of the structure, as opposed to a strong slot and filler structure in which specific comments are made to the context of the representation. In today's lecture, we are concentrating on weak slot and filler structures called semantic nets. Actually, The example of slot and filler structure that you just saw in the previous slide was a semantic net. So what is a semantic net? Semantics means meaning of words. Net is network. The main idea behind semantic nets is that meaning of a concept comes from the ways in which it is connected to other concepts. In a semantic net, information is represented as a set of nodes connected to each other by a set of labeled arcs, which represents the relationship among nodes. In our example, we have represented the following relations. Is a person, mammal. Person is a mammal. Has part, person, nose. Person has a part called nose. Instance, Jack, person. Jack is an instance of a person class. Team, Jack, Chicago Royals. Jack belongs to the team Chicago Royals. Uniform color, Jack, blue. Jack has a uniform color blue. But from the same network, we could use inheritance to derive additional relation. Has part, Jack knows. Because Jack is an instance of the person class from 3 and person has part knows from 2. I hope the basic concept of semantic nets is clear from this example. So, as we can see from these statements, semantic nets can very nicely represent binary predicates in predicate logic. Do you think predicates having other number of arguments, lesser or more, can also be represented using semantic nets? Yes. How? Let us understand with the help of another example. How about a single place predicate? For example, Marcus is a man, which we know we write as man Marcus in predicate logic. A single place predicate, man. Can we represent this using semantic net? Yes, because using inheritance, we know that Marcus is an instance of a man. So, if we can write this as instance Marcus, man, we can represent the single place predicate as a semantic net. Now, the way to handle a 3 or more place predicate is a little different. Consider the statement score Cubs, Dodgers, 5-3. It's a 3 place predicate that gives the score in a game between first argument, visiting team Cubs, second argument, home team Dodgers, and the third argument, the actual score. How we do this is a very beautiful trick. We represent this particular game as an instance of games. Say supposing this was the 23rd game in the league. Then we create a base class game and its instance G23. This node G23 can then have various attributes. Visiting team, home team, and the score can be added as attributes of G23, the instance of a game, like this. So if it had more attributes, we could have added more attributes to this instance. So that's how we can have more than 3 arguments in predicates, more than 3 places in predicates. Game can be a class whose instance can be G23, where G23 has attributes visiting team with the value Cubs, attribute home team with the value Dodgers, and the score attribute with the value 5-3. That's how we can represent an n-place predicate also. I hope the technique is clear. This technique is very useful for representing the contents of a typical declarative statement. What is a declarative statement? A declarative statement is a statement that states facts. Prabha likes riding a bike. Vikram exchanges good books. Pratima sang a classical song. John gave the book to Mary. These are all declarative statements. Statements that state a fact. Let us use the technique that we just learned to represent a declarative statement using semantic net. Consider this last statement, John gave the book to Mary. In such a declarative statement, in such cases, one way to approach it is firstly, find what is the event that is happening. Then, who or what is the doer of the event. Then, who or what is the receiver of the event. And then, what is the item that is involved in the event, if any, etc. Basically, organize the information into, say, base class, derived class, their attributes, the values of those attributes, objects, their attributes, their values. In the statement, John gave the book to Mary, the event is an instance of the act of giving. An instance of the act of giving. So, give can be a class node, and this instance of giving, this event, let us call it EV1, is an object of that class node. So for this instance of giving, John is the doer. How do we organize that into a node and an arc? John is the doer or the agent of the instance of giving. So agent becomes the attribute and John becomes the value. Agent becomes the slot. John becomes the filler. Why did we decide to call it agent? Why not doer? Or for that matter, why not anything else? We could name it whatever we want and we find appropriate. In fact, this instantiating a class and selecting its attributes in semantic net is the same as choosing a predicate and deciding its argument names in predicate logic. So, agent can be the attribute of the instance of the event. The value of the agent attribute is John. The receiver of the instance of giving is Mary. Let us call the attribute beneficiary. The value of the beneficiary attribute is Mary. The statement is John gave the book to Mary. So the item given is the book. It's an item. So the event has an attribute called item, whose value is a specific book. It's a particular book. It's an instance of a class of books. That means we'll have to create a class node called book and its instance called, say, BK23. And this instance is the filler of the item slot. This is the complete slot and filler structure for the statement John gave the book to Mary. I hope you have understood how to represent English declarative statements using semantic nets. Please contact me in case you have any difficulties. Thank you.